Well, thank you very much indeed. And dear State Secretary, thank you, Mayor Coliban, Mr. Florian, and all the members of the Energy Cities Network from across Europe who've come together today. I'm delighted to have this opportunity to address you at this Green Cities Forum and to share with you also a message of support from our Commissioner for the Environment, Virginia Sinkevicius. Congratulations to Mayor Coliban and the Energy Cities Network for organizing this event and for all the work that you've done so energetically up to this point. This forum addresses critical issues as we collectively face the triple planetary crisis, climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. And we've been reminded as not a day has gone past this last summer without news about the impacts of global warming, nature degradation, and a deteriorating environment. And therefore, to rise to meet these challenges, to meet the challenges of these crises, we need a united European response. And the European Green Deal, the flagship policy of the European Commission under President von der Leyen, outlines the key pillars of this response. A comprehensive strategy for sustainable development to achieve a climate-neutral, nature-positive Europe, increasingly able to reduce air, water, and soil pollution at source, and therefore to contribute to an improved quality of life and a more sustainable social and economic future for our citizens in Europe and beyond. And a very important part of this Green Deal agenda is a comprehensive urban strategy for climate and environmental policies, the heart of the discussion at this forum. And once we have adopted the many European Green Deal legislative and policy proposals that are under preparation, we really need to start delivering and implementing them. And here, cities have a more than important role at the forefront of meeting these policy challenges. We know that 72% of the European Union's population lives in cities and urban areas, even if the picture varies across different member states. Each city has its own vision and a comprehensive climatic and environmental strategy. Cities are ideally placed to deliver holistically on the goals of the European Green Deal, while also focusing on their specific needs, involving both national and regional authorities, as well as other stakeholders in multi-level governance. For obvious reasons, we see increasing need for a comprehensive urban strategy for climate and environmental policies at the European level, which should take us to the next step to ensure policy coherence and consistency of the measures under the European Green Deal. And that's why we in the European Commission have been working with member states and other important actors to develop for cities a sort of toolbox or a menu of different urban environmental issues which cities can join and adapt to their needs. And I'd just like to highlight a few that are a particular priority in DG Environment, which is where I am sort of working, as well as then to talk about the Horizon Europe Cities Mission. So on the DG Environment initiatives, very much focused on the broader environmental agenda, we first have established the Green City Accord. This is a movement of cities, a little bit similar in some ways to the Covenant of Mayors, but with a broader scope, focusing on all environmental aspects. And I'm very encouraged to say that so far, 107 mayors have signed a commitment to achieve measurable progress towards ambitious targets on air quality, water quality, noise pollution, waste management, on biodiversity, and creating green spaces. And here, I'd like to highlight in particular the fact that Brasov has signed the Green City Accord. And we hope that this will help you as a municipal authority towards improving the quality of life of the citizens of the city. The Accord will also give visibility to the progress that you're making and also to help you address some of the hurdles ahead. And I'd like to encourage other cities whose representatives are present in this forum also to commit to the Green City Accord if you have not already done so. Ambitious cities can also showcase their successes by applying for our other flagship environmental programs for cities, the European Green Capital and the European Green Leaf Awards. And these have already been mentioned by previous speakers. They recognize environmental and climate achievements in urban areas. They are the most holistic green awards we have, dating back to 2010. And this year's Green Capital Award holder is Tallinn in Estonia, to be followed next year by Valencia in Spain. We have a dedicated website with best practice and citizen stories that can inspire any city that would apply for these awards. And I'd like again to call out for Brasov, which was a promising candidate in this year's award cycle, but other cities as well, to keep up the motivation and to share with us the stories that you have about improving the lives of your citizens and making the sort of quality of life and the environment more livable and attractive. We have many other parallel initiatives in different parts of the Commission: the European Urban Initiative for Capacity Building, the TAIEX peer-to-peer mutual learning in environmental policy and legislation, boosting cooperation with some of our neighbouring countries, the Smart Cities Marketplace to attract investments in new technologies, and the Intelligent Cities Challenge to accelerate the digital transition. Because, I mean, I think we're all aware that without a strong harnessing of new digital and other technologies, we will not be able to achieve the environmental goals that we have. I'd also like to spend a moment speaking specifically about another important flagship policy that we have in the European Commission, which is the Horizon Europe's Cities Mission. This is under the overall framework of our Research and Innovation Framework Programme, Horizon Europe, and it's under the label of the EU Mission for Smart and Climate Neutral Cities, which aims to deliver 100 climate neutral and smart cities by 2030, and to use the experience and the learnings and the inspiration of the cities that are in this group of sort of pioneering 100 cities, also to inspire and encourage other cities across the European Union to follow suit and help us to achieve the overall objective of the Green Deal, which is to become fully climate neutral in Europe by 2050. And my role as mission manager for this mission on smart climate and neutral and smart cities is responsibility to coordinate the overall program. And the very encouraging news is that we have the first 12 cities who have presented draft climate city contracts as they develop more concrete and specific plans for implementation of the ambitious climate neutrality goal. So these contracts contain a confirmation of the overall objective of climate neutrality by 2030, but then also a detailed action plan on what needs to be done to achieve this across all sectors, whether it's energy transformation, clean mobility systems, heating and cooling of buildings, both those exist and future buildings, and how that links also up to the broader environmental and climate adaptation agendas. And for the first time, through this initiative, we're also supporting cities in developing dedicated investment strategies to identify potential sources of funding from EU, national and other programs, as well as contributions from the private sectors. The success of the mission depends crucially on citizens' engagement and mobilization of all relevant stakeholders. In parallel to the work of the Cities Mission, on the 19th of July, just a few weeks ago, the European Commission proposed a new mission on the new European Bauhaus. This aims to transform neighborhoods across Europe for the better, making them more beautiful, sustainable, and more inclusive. And over the past weeks in the summer, we have heard, of course, a very sad and distressing stories of how criminal activities can play into environmental and social degradation. So it's vitally important that we harness all the policies and opportunities that we can to make our cities more beautiful and sustainable, and therefore also address some of the issues of social fairness and security that many of us face. And the call for experts to join the mission board for this new Bauhaus mission was just closed, and I hope we will soon see its further development. I would also just want to stress that the European Green Deal, and more specifically the Horizon Europe missions, are not just sort of policy goals, but we've also put aside very, very significant funds to support the implementation. And with the combination of our 7-year budget package for 2021 to 2027, as well as the post-COVID recovery instrument Next Generation EU, there is altogether 2 trillion euros in current prices to address our priorities, including the green and digital transition, which is at the heart of the Commission's agenda. And my final point, and my third point, is to congratulate Romanian cities, including Brașov, of course, but other Romanian cities, in the work that you are doing through different fora, whether it's through the city's mission or the different networks and policies that I've described, in order to engage with us on this exciting journey towards environmental sustainability and climate neutrality. And I particularly like to pay tribute to the very active Romanian Association of Municipalities, who I know is playing a really fundamental role in supporting cities across the country in making this, achieving these important objectives. And I recall a very constructive dialogue that I had with you, Mayor Coliban, and other mayors in Romania when I was in Bucharest last October. And I have very positive memories of the encouraging stories that I was hearing about the work that Romanian cities are doing to achieve the green transition. And I think that the key message that I took away from those discussions is that everything is linked together. It's important that we work simultaneously on issues like energy security and climate change, but also how those fit together with environmental protection, reducing pollution, and protecting biodiversity. And so I want to conclude by inviting all of you to maintain this strong and impressive commitment through the city's mission, the Covenant of Mayors, and the Green City Accord, in order to ensure that you are participating actively in the most relevant European Union initiatives for your cities. And today's Green Cities Forum, I believe, is a perfect opportunity to support cities not only in Romania, but also from other parts of the European Union and beyond, to meet the ambitious goals of the European Green Deal. And I'm therefore looking forward to a very lively and thought-provoking exchanges throughout this event. Thank you very much, Brașov. I'm sorry I can't be with you, but I'm really very encouraged with the strong participation and the high level of ambition that you have established. Thank you.